Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Go y'all. Go y'all. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Welcome to the Glow Up, where we grow to glow. I'm so excited, y'all, because it is literally Friday. I am back. Your girl is back in full effect. And I appreciate y'all for understanding, right? And also looking at the videos and being encouraged. And so I just want to get on here, man, on today because y'all already know what time it is, right? We talk, we grow to glow, right? We take those masks off, we get uncomfortable. And I don't know about y'all, but listen, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Like, God is good. God is doing an amazing thing in our lives, right? He wants to do new things in our lives. He wants to be God. Like, let him be God. Literally, let him be God. Let him have his way in your life. I don't know who I'm talking to, but listen, I'm talking to myself. I ain't talking to nobody else. Let him be God. Let God run this thing, okay? Because he know it. You know, he'd have been through it. He know already. He created it. He created this life. Like, literally. So I'm just thankful to be able to see another day, have another opportunity. And y'all already know, like, y'all, your girl was in Virginia for a good while. And now I'm back in Charlotte, and it feels good to be home. And I'm excited because man, it's always good to be home, right? It always feels good to just be home, but it was good too to be with family, right? Because family, we need each other, right? And so it was good too to be there with them and to encourage them, and for them to encourage me and to love on me and me to love on them. And for us to just come together as a unit. So I appreciated that more than anything. But anyways, man, the Lord has a word on today. And again, I hope and pray that each and every single one of you are having a happy Friday and that you're enjoying your Friday. If not, we need to turn that frown upside down. We need to make sure that we're smiling and that we're growing to glow, because at the end of the day, right, that's what we are here for, right? We are here to grow, to glow, to deal with those things on the inside so that light can really shine. Like, God's light needs to shine, right? But y'all know how I am, right? But y'all, I'm always transparent with y'all. I'm always just gonna keep it real, keep it 100 with you, right? Because at the end of the day, this thing called life be life. And just because life be life, and don't mean that God is still not God, okay? So I'm always excited about that. But so today, y'all, I wanted to get on here on today because, comparison is a true thief. Comparison is a thief. Okay. We are not out here literally comparing ourselves to nobody, right? We should not be comparing ourselves to anybody, right? Because what God has called you to do, God has called you to do and purposed you to do, right? Only you can do exactly what it is that God has called you to do. Can't nobody do it like you can. Okay. And that's a real thing, right? So when God tells us that he formed us, right, and that he knew us before we were in our mother's womb, I like to sit back and I like to think about that, right? And I like to sit back and just think about how important that was, right? And what that statement was that he was saying in Jeremiah. Okay. So when he even said that, I was like, wow, God, my first mind, right? When I sit here and I think about this thing, I'm like, God, what are you doing, right? What are you showing me, right? You're showing me then, right? And so you love me so much that you're reminding me of my first mind, which is my spirit. Yes, girl. Yes, girl. Hey. But y'all, I'm serious. This thing got so real for me, right? Because I think it is so simple and so easy for us sometimes to get so caught up in this world that we begin to compare our lives to everybody else's life. What she doing, what he doing, and all these different things. All these different things going on right now around the world. Everybody talking about Meg Thee Stallion and Clay Thompson, right? And everybody is trying to, talk about men and how the men going against the women, and that's division. Like, that's literally creating division, and the enemy wants that. The enemy wants us to be divided. He wants us to take sides. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, I can understand from Meg's point of view, but I can also understand like why a lot of men feel like they have to speak up for Clay. But at the end of the day, let Clay speak up for Clay. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm always constantly praying for both of them. Okay, equally. I'm praying for both of them equally, because at the end of the day, man, that's letting me know, even as us as women, right? We can literally be out here, doing everything that we do right, looking good, smelling good, and things still gonna happen. Okay. And we can still choose wrong. And guess what? That's okay. But we're gonna grow through it. Okay. What we're not gonna do is sit there, sit there, okay, and just let things just no, we ain't gonna do that because we know our value, we know our work, and we know our identity, right? And so that's the reason why I'm talking about this on today, because comparison is a real thief. Okay. We compare our lives, and when God says, I knew you before you were in your mother's womb, and because he knew that, he knew us, right? Not only did he know us then, but he knows us now, and he knows who we are becoming, and he knows who we will be. And so when I sit here and I think about all of those different things like that, and I'm like, God, there is nothing that has happened before, right? That you've never seen. Like, it's not nothing that you haven't lived through or created, right? You know our thoughts before we think them. You know everything about us, right? You know our story. You know everything. I don't even know how my story is going to end, but I got an idea, right? But I'm just like, God, I want to fulfill your purpose, though. I want to do what it is that you called me to do. But I know that right now, even in this thing called life, right, comparing ourselves to other people's journeys, maybe your walk is not their walk, right? And we have to be okay with that. Like, sometimes it's easier said than done because we may look at that person and feel like they got it all together. And we don't know what that person did, okay, to obtain the things that they have. Like, we don't know because we don't know the work that they did. We don't know the sacrifices that they made. Am I making the same sacrifices that they made? I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not, right? But what we also don't want to do, right, is also get in our own way, right? And our selfish and our selfish thoughts to think about me, because it's we, right? And this is the thing, right? And it goes right back to us talking about love and who God is, right? Because when we compare, we're literally removing the love. We're not putting the love there anymore. Like, God has literally been trying to get us to see ourselves first, right? Because it has to come to us first and resonate with us first before it can resonate with anybody else. And that's the crazy part, is that sometimes, right, we don't want it to resonate with us because we've been doing certain things for so long. Like, we don't want to unhabit the habits. And remember, and I talked to y'all about this before, but I'm serious, like, literally, because when we're comparing ourselves to other people, we don't look at just not, what they achieve, right? But we also see some of the habits. Okay. We don't know what the discipline looked like, because, like, let's just use weight loss for an example, right? Is that y'all know that Toya out here literally trying to get snatched and get my whole stuff together. And because, this Usher concert and Chris Brown concert coming up, right? I got a little bit more motivation. Hello. I don't know about y'all, but listen, yes, I love God, but I like Chris Brown and I like Usher too, right? And I just was like, Lord, you gotta let me go to this one. So I prayed on that thing and God was like, sure, you can go, right? But at the same time, right, I need for you to compose yourself, keep yourself where you need to be. Listen, y'all, I ain't so saved. You see what I'm saying? I'm not so saved that I'm no earthly good. You see what I'm saying? So, and I told y'all I got a cussing problem. I got a whole lot of issues, okay? I got a whole lot of things that just ain't right with Toya, right? But at the same time, I am honored that God has chose me, right, to be able to have a podcast, and we all can have these type of things, right? We all can do the things that it is that God has called us to do. But right back to the weight loss thing. So anyways, right, I'm motivated to get this weight loss off, right? But I have to also train my mind, right? So we have to be renewed we have to be literally transformed by the renewing of our mind. So that means that my mindset had to change. And so because I know that I have a motivation, my catalyst is this concert, right? But at the same time, I'm like, man, health is truly wealth, right? And I hear this all the time, and I'm just like, oh, Lord, here they go. Talking about health is wealth, right? But I love me some pizza. I love me some cookies. I love me some cake. Listen, all that stuff tastes good to me, okay? I don't eat food for nourishment. I eat food for pleasure, okay? I don't know. Be real with yourself. Listen, I'm real with myself. Listen, myself will tell you in a heartbeat, Toya do not eat for nourishment. Toya eat to be pleasured, okay? I like the way food tastes. I love good food. I love the presentation of food. I love everything about it. Okay. And I love how it makes me feel. Like, it makes me feel good. I love that the presentation, because it makes me feel like the chef just did this just for me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I do. I love that. Right. And so for me, I literally have to be mindful of what I order, because if I don't order something, if I don't order greens or some type of greenery in there somewhere, some type of vegetable somewhere. Okay. Toya will order all starches. Okay. And be okay with that. And then order a soda and drink that soda. Like, I know I wasn't supposed to have that. But then I get out here and I'm comparing myself. Okay. And I see all of these different people, and I'm not intentionally comparing myself, right? Because sometimes that can happen subconsciously, right? Literally, I see Nia Long. I'm like, God, look at Nia Long. Nia Long ain't playing. She in her 50s now. You know, she looks good for her age, right? And body is still T. Okay. T. Okay. I ain't doing this, but I'm saying T. Like, for real, it's T. That's old school T. Okay. Not only is it T, but then I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, look at Sierra. Sierra in her 40s. You know, that girl about to be in her mid-40s and she's still getting low and she doing all of these different things. Lord, why I can't do that? You know what I'm saying? Why I can't, do the things like that for the Lord? I can twerk for the Lord. I know y'all probably like, what in the world? Toya is crazy. But it's a real thing though, right? Because what happens is, right, it's never intentional. But what I'm saying, I say all of this to say this, right, is that sometimes it's more so of what we see. We allow our five senses to mess with us, right, and to compare ourselves. And sometimes we feel like, well, I maybe is instead of saying, maybe I can fix myself up in this area, right? Maybe I do need some work in this area. We begin to compare ourselves and our journeys to other people's. And it's not necessarily intentional, right? I don't usually compare my life to other people's as far as just normal people. But I do look at celebrities sometimes because it's hard for me to not see them, right? And I'm like, man, look at that skin. That skin is so flawless. And I'm like, wow, that her skin is just, you see the glow. It's just natural glow. Like, I love Sierra's skin, Beyonce's skin. I look at them and I'm like, man, look at these beautiful women. I admire people. You know what I'm saying? And so what I didn't know what I was doing though was, right, because I'm admiring them with my eyes, right, is that I began to covet. And so I began to want, you know what I'm saying, that too, right? And it's nothing wrong with wanting that too. But the reality is that I don't know what it took for them to get it. Okay. And I don't know what it looks like, right, when it's not in front of the camera. I don't know what it's like, right? You see what I'm saying? Without the makeup. I don't know what it's like. But see, I know what Toya looks like with no makeup. You see what I'm saying? No makeup, no nothing. This is Toya. This is Toya, right? Flaws and all, right? And so I'm learning even more so that God is like, listen, I love you, right? You are beautifully and wonderfully made. And not only are you beautifully and wonderfully made, but your walk is your walk. So what I wanted to get on here, man, on today, man, to encourage somebody on today, that your walk is your walk. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop. Because when we do that, man, listen, we are giving the enemy so much ammo, and he's so excited that you're getting distracted and focused on what other people are doing instead of focusing on yourself. Did you hear what I just said? The enemy does not want you to focus on yourself, because he knows that if you focus on yourself instead of focusing on other things, he knows, right, that you are going to win. He knows that you're going to tap into something. And then what's going to happen is you're going to become the solution to someone's problem. The enemy don't want solutions. He wants there to be confusion. He wants you to lose yourself in identity. He wants you to get so focused on those things that are not eternal. Okay. He wants us to focus so much on these people that we don't even get to see on a regular basis. Like, not your average people. I'm talking about Beyonce, Sierra, all of them. And again, I'm not hating on them at all, because I like them too. Shoot, them my girls. I love me some Lotto. Okay. I love me some Lotto. Big Mama. I like to call my own self Big Mama. You see what I'm saying? I'm Big Mama, because I am Big Mama. You see what I'm saying? Okay. But anyways, I say all of this to say, right, is that we have to be mindful, y'all, of just knowing, right, that God has more for us. And yet at the same time, even though we know that God has more for us, right, we're not doing what he wants us to do or needs for us to do. So we can't accomplish, right, and get to the next level. in our growth level, right? In order to not compare. Because the thing is, right, is that we don't even realize the things that we already have sometimes. Like, we're not even mindful of the things that we have already inside of us. Like, we haven't even tapped into everything yet. Like, we haven't even gotten to explore all of the things that's within us. And the crazy thing about it is some of us don't even go outside. Like, some of us don't even go outside. And I'm thankful again for my friends. Okay, I only got two friends, that's here, like physically here, right? That I talk to on a regular basis, and they check on me. And God bless my friend Danielle. I love her to death. I love her to life. I'm not gonna say love her to death, but love her to life, because she understands that she knows that I'm in your life because I know that I'm supposed to bring you outside. Like, this is something that she shared with me, is that I know that I'm supposed to be connected to you. I know that I'm a part of your purpose, right? And I'm just like, okay, God, like, who does that? Like, who is that bold to tell somebody straight up, like, girl, I'm a part of your purpose and you gonna let me love you? Danielle, like, girl, like, so we just clicked. And it's worked out for us, right? And I'm just thankful for that. I'm thankful that God did that. And I know that that's an intentional friendship of mine that I won't take for granted. You know what I'm saying? We don't compare, you know what I'm saying, ourselves to each other, but we do hold each other accountable, right? So she makes sure that I'm out the house at least once a week, because for her, it's like, yo, I don't want you in that house cramped up. But I love my house. I love that this is the place that God has called me to, but I also know that he's called me outside of these four walls. And I also know that he's called me outside of the four walls that I'm in church with, right? And so, community is a real thing, right? And so in order to receive, in order to grow, in order to get to those new levels, right, we have to make sure that we're being intentional with our purpose people, right? Allowing our purpose people to come across our paths, because they have to be able to see us. They have to be able to meet us, right? And they can't do that inside the house, right? Yes, sure, you can meet, on all of these different social clubs, there's social networks, everything, right? And so we got to be intentional to count ourselves friendly, right? And I know that it's easy said than done, because sometimes we as women, I know a lot of us, especially as Black women, we're like, man, we can't count ourselves friendly. Like, people ain't friends with us. We ain't got no friends. But listen, I'm gonna tell you something. There are people that's waiting on you. There are females that are waiting for you to come across their path. And I'm excited. I don't even know what this next chapter is even going to look like, but I'm excited for May. It's May 1st. And I'm already like, God, thank you. Thank you, God, for, blessing me. Thank you, Lord, for allowing me to see May 1st, 2026. Right. I still know that you have a hope and a future for me. I still know that, you want me, right? That you need me to do what it is that you called me to do. Right. I'm thankful for that. And so I'm constantly on the go with that, right? And I don't want to compare myself to other people. But again, like I told you, right? Sometimes in this thing called life, it's not intentional, but it's subconsciously, right? And that's why it's so important for us to be mindful of what we're putting, what we see, what we hear, right? Who are we talking to? Like, whose voice are we listening to? Are we listening to God's voice, our voice, or are we listening to somebody else's voice, right? Or are we listening to the enemy's voice? Like, we have to know his voice, right? We have to know what it is that he's trying to tell us, right? We don't want to get so caught up in our own way or in our own thoughts, right? That we talk ourselves out of doing what it is that God has called us to do and purposed us to do. Okay. Um, y'all, listen. It's a real thing when you start, comparing yourself, because listen, man, I told you the enemy wants to steal, kill, and destroy. This is what he's called to do. This is his mission. We can't get mad at him for doing what his job. This is his job. This is what he's been doing, right? For years, right? Before we even came here, when he was back with Adam and Eve, he stole, like, he was literally out here trying to steal, kill, and destroy. And that's what he thought that he could do, right? But only God could literally restore that. And I'm thankful for that. God is still restoring us, right? Because I told y'all, listen, when I'm talking to y'all, I'm talking to me too. Like, there is nothing that I know. Like, I cannot compare my walk to nobody else's walk. Listen, I'm not perfect. Do I still want to do all different types of things? Absolutely. Do I want to cuss people out sometimes? Absolutely. Do I want to lay my hands on people sometimes? Absolutely. Do I want to literally, go out here and just be a thought sometimes? Absolutely. Okay. But what I'm telling you is that none of that is going to glorify God. And I know that, right? I know that it's not. But sometimes I just be like, God, just let me go out here and do one. Let me just go out here and do something, right? But God is like, how you gonna do that when you're not even made to fit in? right? You can't even blend in. So it's funny because sometimes in life, right, even though we are called and we know that we're called and we know that we're chosen, right? God still finds a way to show us and say, oh yeah. So you thought you was gonna go out here and do what you thought you was wanting to do, and you thought you wanted to do that. You thought you was gonna go out here and do that, and then I brought you right back into the fold. Listen, you don't even know what I just saved you from. And then no later than 30 minutes later, right, there was a shooting. And I'm like, Lord, thank you for saving me. Thank you for covering me on that one. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, man, listen, we all got we all got things that we want to do, how we want to do them, right? But I'm just so thankful for God's grace. I'm just so thankful that God hasn't given up on us. I'm thankful that He hasn't given up on me, and I have to make that thing personal, y'all. I literally have to make it personal because I know that I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it weren't for God. Like, and that's the thing. Like, even with the Glow Up Is podcast, I'm not pretending to be somebody that I'm not. Like, you might see me in the street and I might be, I just might, be ready to knock if you buck. I might be ready to say some things that I don't see but supposed to say. You see what I'm saying? Like, you be like, dang, okay. But at the same time, right? I know God's grace is sufficient for my life, but I also know too that I also have to be accountable for the way that I respond and how I react. Right. And see, and at first I wasn't mature enough to receive that or understand that, right? Because I was just like, shoot, I listen, I want to do what you want me to do, Lord, but I need to also do it my way, right? But it wasn't necessarily my way. What I had to learn is that when I gave God my yes, right? I wasn't expecting, God is not expecting perfection, right? He's just expecting me to try and put forth effort like every day, right? And this thing with the cameras on or with the cameras off, like I'm still me. I'm still Toya. I am. And I know that in my heart of hearts, like I know that He sees me. I know that He sees what's inside, like my intentions, my motives, and He knows that if I'm sincere, authentic, He knows all of that. And even to real people, like real people know, like, listen, Toya crazy. Cause I am. I am crazy. I am. I ain't wrapped too tight. I'm not. Nope. I ain't never been wrapped too tight. Listen, I say a lot of things that I probably shouldn't even say. I probably shouldn't even say some of the things that I say, but I'm learning to think before I say things. But then sometimes I feel like I'm supposed to say the things that I'm supposed to say because I'm like, Lord, you wouldn't have put me here if I wasn't supposed to be me in this scenario. So, the things that you're thinking, I say them. That's just what it is, and I'm getting better with that. But I just think that's a part of my personality. I just think that that's a real part of my personality because a lot of times for me, I'm just like, why make a face when I want to say it? Why not just go ahead and say it? You see what I'm saying? Because I understand like there's growth in everything, but there's also growth too when being real with yourself. Like, okay, I don't think this need to be contained. You see what I'm saying? It's certain things that I'm just like, okay, well, I'm not gonna be able to do this, but you're maturing in a lot of ways, right? And you also need to understand again, not everybody's gonna be you, not everybody's gonna respond the way that you want them to respond, not everybody's gonna react and do exactly the way that you would do it, right? And that's the thing, that's the unique part about us as a people, is that you're you and I'm me, right? And I can see things differently than you see them, and you can see things differently than I can see them, right? But I'm constantly just thankful because God always just reels me right back in, even when I reel myself back out. You see what I'm saying? Like, but his is just to know that God's love, man, covers all of everything that we do that we're not supposed to do, right? And even the things that we're not supposed to do, just to be real with ourselves, sometimes it just feels good to do the wrong thing. And y'all can take that however way you want to take it. Am I telling you to go out here and do the wrong thing? No. But sometimes it do feel good to do the wrong thing, but then you ask for forgiveness later. You see what I'm saying? See, that's why I told y'all got to pray for me. Keep praying for me while I pray for you. Okay. This is why we need each other, right? Because this thing is a real thing. Listen, we don't sugarcoat nothing here at the Glow Up Is, right? We just be real open and honest with ourselves because we got to walk that. We got to walk this thing. And we got to be truthful with ourselves because that's the only way that we're going to grow. That's the only way that God is going to be able to use us, right? In our authentic way, in an authentic way, but in our own platform. I don't know what your platform is. I don't know what your gifts are, but you know, and you have an idea. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you have an idea, right? And again, I tell you all the time, talk to God, right? Just talk to him. Let's let him in and let him hear you, right? And you hear him. And sometimes we just need to be still and just let God be God because God just wants to be God. Like, let him be God. Like, let him do it. Like, let him do it. Like, let him draw you out, right? Let him separate you. Okay. That's what this thing is about today, y'all. Comparison is truly a thief. Comparison wants to get you all caught up. Comparison wants you to be wrapped up in this world, right? Because it wants to misguide people. It wants to give wrong information. It wants to do all of these different things. It wants to literally ruin your legacy, right? It doesn't want your children to grow up and be great. It does. Like, the enemy wants to stop with you. He wants it to end with you. He doesn't want you to win. And definitely doesn't want your kids to win. He don't even want your legacy to keep going. He wants your bloodline to end with you. Did you just hear what I just said? Like, some of us, man, we don't even realize why we going through some of the things that we going through because of the simple fact that we have people that have been around us. Like, thinking about all of the sexual energy, right, that's been around us, like, or in us. Okay. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, you'd have been out here messing with people that got all of these mental issues, and you wondering why you got all of these different things that's going on because you keep allowing people in your soul. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy, y'all. But listen, man, I wanted to get on here because, first of all, it's Friday and your girl. I'm just blessed to be back. I love y'all so much, man. I thank y'all all the time for just being a part of this thing called life with me, right? Growing to glow, right? Being intentional with growth. Even when we backslide, listen, sometimes that's what we do, man. We're human, right? And I'm not giving, that's not an out or anything. It's just the truth. Like, we're all human. We go through things, right? You might have just fell on something. I don't know. Listen, ladies, you know what I'm saying. Okay. Sometimes that's what happens, right? We learn and we move forward. We move forward, right? But again, I'm not going to compare my life to somebody else's life. I'm not going to compare my walk to somebody else's walk because I don't know what they're going through, and maybe it doesn't feel like that, to them that, hey, I'm going through all these different things. Nobody's here for me. But it's somebody else that's going through the same thing. It's somebody else that's going through it worse than you. But again, they're not you, right? And so the thing about it is that we got to stay connected to God in order for us to defeat this thing. We got to stay connected because God has already put people in our path. He's already given us him, right? He's more than enough to fix this thing, but he will also direct you and guide you to the people that you're supposed to be around, right? Whether or not it's maybe you need a mental health counselor, maybe you need a different counselor, maybe you need, friends, right? Real friends, friends who don't have motives, right? Being mindful of who we're connected to. Maybe you need a spouse, right? That's gonna be there to support you and love you, right? But have you given God your love, right? Like, we got to be truthful and honest with ourselves, man. Where are we? Where are we in our growth level, right? Maybe we'll talk about this next week a little bit, but I'm so glad to be back. I love y'all so much, man. And I hope that each and every one of you have a great weekend, and I will see y'all next Friday. I love y'all again. This is what we do, right? At the glow up. It's a grow. I was about to say the grow up. At the glow up, right? This is what we do at the Glow Up Is, man. We grow to glow. We do it when it's uncomfortable. We take the mask off, man, because we can't be wearing masks here, man. We know that God sees it, right? We know God sees us. And even to some, right, we all had a discernment. We all see it. We all know when something ain't right with us. We know when something ain't right with us. And sometimes, we got to be truthful with ourselves, right? And it all starts within. It all starts within. And I promise you, if we take care of what's going on the inside, the outside has no choice but to glow. And I'm excited about our growth. I'm excited about our growth, and I'm excited about our glow. Okay. I'll see y'all next week. I love y'all so much again, y'all. I'll see y'all next week. All right, y'all. Bye.